We're live.
We're live. Hey, everybody. A little different setting tonight.
It sure is. We're outside.
Yep.
It's a beautiful night, so we thought, let's take it outside. And the studio is tore apart.
Yeah.
So here we are.
I tore the studio apart because I'm putting up, putting in new carpet and all that, and the carpet was the wrong size. So, yeah, we're kind of stuck with a tore apart studio until I get the carpet situation figured out.
Right. But we do have this very nice fire behind us.
Yeah.
And if you hear some kids in the background, I think the neighbors are out jumping on the trampoline.
Yeah. So we'll just work with it.
Right. So it's a little different format tonight. But we do definitely want to talk about the rundown from last Sunday night's fight night. We against the Helix and the Kemper. There's been lots of buzz in all of the forums and the different groups, and we've had some good comments here on the channel that we wanted to recognize, and again, just thank everybody for tuning in last week and showing up for us. So there's that. Let's see. Welcome. How many people? Ooh, we got 4. It's you, me, and Aaron.
Oh, cool.
Right.
What's going on, Aaron?
We're going to have to, because we're not downstairs with all the fancy equipment, I'm going to have to have my phone up so I can read the chats and stuff. But, yeah, how are we doing? You're sharing it?
Yeah, I'm done sharing, so if you want to do your
all right, I will
sharing,
share.
I'll get off of the Wi-Fi.
Aaron's like, who else do you need, right?
Yeah,
just us and you.
just
It'll
us.
be fine.
Yeah. Let me adjust this camera a little.
Yeah. We're adjusting. Oh, wait. There you go. Is that better?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so
Okay, I'm gonna share.
just wanted to do a follow-up. I mean, last week was so taxing. I mean, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work too. So I wanted to do something kind of chill tonight because A, the basement, the studio's all tore up, and B, hey Aaron, what's going on, man? Yeah, and B, I just wanted to have a night where we could just kind of, hang out with you guys and do a follow-up episode of last week's, fight night. It was our first fight night, and for a 4-hour video, it's gotten over 4,000 views in 1 week, which I think is really, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. So it actually was really successful, especially for something like that. Now, I've gotten messages from people all week. Right?
Yeah, we knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, we knew there was going to be a lot of conjecture and a lot of people. Derek Anderson, when is the fight night between Kemper and Fractal? Good question. So let me get into that. So the next fight night is going to be the Line 6 Power Cab 2x12. It's a new product that they're launching. Frank Rashad from Line 6 is sending me one, and it should be here within the next few weeks. As long as customs and all that stuff works out, it'll be here, and we're going to put that against the Friedman ASC12 and see how that stacks up. It'll be the same kind of thing, like a blind test, and you guys get to witness guys trying them out for different music genres and different kind of guitar players, different guitars, different tones, all that kind of stuff, and they're just gonna pick one over the other. And at the end of the day, we'll see which one wins, I guess. But we'll also talk about the features and stuff like that, like we did with the Helix and the Kemper. I think it's going to be a really cool product. I can't wait to get my hands on it and try it out. And I'm going to be doing like a separate review of it as well, as a courtesy to Line 6 for sending it to me free of charge. So I don't know if I get to keep it. I don't know if it's just something I get to borrow. I'm not sure. We'll figure all that out later. But the main thing is I'll have it, so we can actually.
You look like a ghost.
I know I do. I'm trying to angle my face.
There you go.
So
Down.
yeah. So anyway.
Maybe as the sun goes down, it'll get better.
Yeah.
Last minute decision to head outside.
Yeah. We were going to be at the kitchen table, but we decided it's so nice, and we got the fire, and why not?
And whiskey, by the way.
Yeah, and we have whiskey. So, yeah.
So cheers.
Cheers to the best co-host in the world.
Ditto. I'm like.
Derpy.
Derpy ditto. There you go.
Yeah. So.
Well, let's see. We have a new viewer. Let's see. Jeff Parker. Hey, recently discovered you. Great channel, still going through lots of videos.
Oh,
Perfect.
cool. Thanks,
Yeah.
Jeff. Welcome
Thanks
to
for
the
tuning
community.
in. Yeah, we're both going to talk to you at the same time. That's how special you are.
Yeah.
It's the gold crown treatment.
Exactly. You get us both talking over each other.
Right, and Scott Schultz is there. Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Who else? We got, well, my phone says 18 people,
Yeah.
so chime in. Hi, Aaron Short. I see you
Hey.
guys. I see you there.
What's going on? Yeah, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. It's the highlight of the week, like hanging out with you guys and catching up and talking about, past episodes and future episodes and just what's going on right now. Like tonight, again, this is just like a little campfire hangout with you guys, and we thought that'd be cool.
Ed, what's up?
Hey, Ed.
Cheers, right? Jared, have you heard the new Sons of Apollo live release?
No, but I'm gonna. Holy crap, I didn't know that was out. I'm gonna definitely check that out. I love Sons of Apollo.
We brought some things.
Yeah.
To show you guys
Yeah,
this
go
time.
for it.
We have some merch. We got our Tone Wars t-shirts. It's got our TW logo there, and then Tone Wars. Actually, it says Sorrow Enot. Is it backwards for them?
Sorrow Enot.
Right. But yeah, if you guys want to
It's
do
Greek for Tone Wars.
Right. Hey, for a $20 super chat, you get a Tone Wars t-shirt.
Yeah.
From now on until we run out. I'll post some sizes, or I'll look at my phone. We have limited sizes, but up at the top in the description, Jared put his email address. So if you're interested in getting a t-shirt, $20 super chat for tonight, we'll get it out in the mail. Just put your mailing address and what size you prefer. We have a couple smalls, a couple mediums, we have more larges, and we have a lot more extra larges.
And as a bonus, I didn't tell you about this. I didn't run that by her earlier, but I just thought of this. As a bonus, I will also include a free pick from my pick collection.
Oh, yeah.
I have wind spears, and I also have gravity, and I have.
And you're going to be giving away a bunch of picks.
Yeah, I'll include a free pick with every purchase too. Like I'll just throw whatever I feel like throwing in there for you guys. I got tons of picks that I've never touched, and they're from high-end pick manufacturers, and I thought that'd be kind of cool to give them a taste of the high life of a nice pick. And so I thought I'd throw that in tonight too, just as an added bonus.
And for those of you that don't like t-shirts, we have these Tone Wars bowling style shirts with the same logos on. We only have these in XL, so these would be for a $40 super chat if you wanted the Tone Wars bowling style shirt. Again, we only have extra large in these. We have 2 black ones and 1 dark gray. It's like a charcoal gray. It still looks really great. So yeah, we'll put these up. I'll remind you halfway through and then again at the end. And again, just send your size and your mailing address to Jared's email that he put in the description, and or you can message him, whatever's easier.
Yeah, and I'll throw it in the mail for you with a free pick from one of the high-end manufacturers that we work with.
Yeah.
And you get to try one of those out. The wind spear picks they're all great. Gravity, wind spear, chicken picks, they're all amazing. So I thought I'd do that for you guys too.
Aaron says that you should have had me pick my favorite last week. Would be interesting to hear a singer's perspective. That's a great idea.
You know what? Yeah, maybe we'll do that next time.
Yeah.
We'll just be like, all right, what do you think? Which one do you like the best?
We usually disagree though. You and I, we usually disagree. I'm like, no, that one sounds so much better. And you're like, but you have to think about it in a mix, Carrie. It's not just about what it sounds like all by itself.
Yeah. What do you do? Just trying to help. She's like, oh, they all sound like guitar to me. So.
Oh, let's see, what else is in there? You should have, yes, Ben. Notice did not appear. I saw the time and checked. Oh, that he must be talking to somebody else.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.
I tried to download the internet. Oh, he's still talking to somebody else. Woo, we are going. I agree. Carrie should have had her favorite.
Well, that'll be from now on. Carrie will pick a favorite.
Scott says you need to go double XL for bigger guys like me. You know what? When we're done getting rid of all these, we'll definitely have some 2. We already sold all the 2XLs. So,
we did. Sorry about that, but we will. I mean, that bowling shirt thing.
It's roomy.
It's big.
Yeah.
I got one, and it's too big on me, but I wear it anyways. It looks like a muumuu on me.
It's his fat day shirt.
Yeah.
It's his I drank too much beer yesterday shirt.
Pretty much. Too much beer and pizza. I guess I'm wearing this, But
There's never too much beer and pizza.
No, not really. especially last weekend, there was quite a bit, and there was still
Right.
not too much.
Larissimo. Did I say that right? Is it Ciao? C-I-A-O? Is that how you say that?
Yeah,
Ciao?
ciao. What's up? Hello. I
I
think
should have paid better attention in French class.
Oh, the Chicago Todd. He uses chicken bigs. Oh, they're awesome. They have a really distinct tonality. There's a hairy
Are
tone.
those the ones that look like bone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They
See,
have
I
a.
pay attention.
Wow. Look at that.
We have candy ones from No, not Windspear. Windspear looks with the emblem. Looks
Yeah.
very regal.
Very regal.
Who is the candy ones?
That's Gravity.
Gravity Pets.
Gravities look like candy. You can eat them like Jolly Ranchers.
Don't eat them.
Don't
but
eat
they
them.
look like you could eat them.
Yeah. Yeah. The chicken picks are amazing though. They are. They have a really. It's like a hairy kind of grippy, gritty tone they put on the notes.
Yeah.
I love them. I think they sound really good. Depending on what I'm going for, especially in the recording situation, I will use whichever.
Phil Anatucci. Hi, man.
Hey, Phil.
He says an anonymous non-guitar player choice like Carrie's would work. I wouldn't really be an anonymous.
Yeah, because we all know who.
It's me. But thanks for agreeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna think I'm an idiot. But...
No, I'm not. I'm going to think that you have a right to an opinion, and it would be nice to hear someone else's perspective. But I will say, yeah, I know, pass out. No, but the thing is, though, is I will say, like, I'd like to know why. Like,
Yeah.
like that's me.
Oh, my whys are gonna be like, 'cause it sounds better.
Because it sounds
Because
better.
it's not as loud. Because it's quieter.
Yeah. But I'm gonna be like, no, you gotta say why.
Because it doesn't annoy my ear.
Yeah, well, that's a good one, but
Okay, we'll go with that.
quieter is not going to be anything a guitar player wants to hear. As soon as you say,
It's everything a singer wants to hear.
yeah, I know, but as soon as you say, like, I like it better because it's quieter, everyone's going to be like,
I
well,
lose my credibility.
yeah, I'm not using that one. Damn.
Right. Was there something else that you saw in here? There was a bunch that popped up. Like,
Yeah, I'm sorry if I missed some.
That's okay.
Well, let me get into
Do a backflip off the deck from Trevino. Probably not.
You want me to walk across the fire?
Yeah. Make sure I hear them catch on.
Yeah, I got some hairspray
That'd be
going on
a
today.
show.
But okay, let me get into some of the. Let's dispel some
Yeah.
things,
And we
right?
need to say thank you, right?
Yeah, so let's say the thank yous.
All right, Jared wanted to say a special thank you to Michael Maslowski, Deuterium, Cold Friction, W. Bauman, and Ben Burnett for trying to dispel some of the theories and myths and conspiracy theories that were going around
Yeah.
in some of the gear pages.
Yeah, the
right?
gear page was one of the big ones. I'm not a member there, but somebody sent me a notice saying, yeah, you're blowing up over at the gear page, and someone shared the video in there, so thank you to whoever shared that. We appreciate that. And then, of course, then everyone's got to have their opinions, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's kind of why we do
yeah.
this, right? The more people talk about it, the better, right?
Yeah.
No such thing as bad press. So we're grateful for all the opinions and comments. Even if people don't agree with us, it's fine,
Yeah.
because I mean, if everybody agreed with us, I think we did it wrong,
Right.
right? I mean, I don't know. So basically, I guess what I would say is there was some people saying that it wasn't fair, and there were people saying, let me look at
Yeah.
some of the notes here.
Right here, allowing people to make changes.
Yeah, they weren't allowing us. We weren't allowing them to make changes. And
Helix 2 IRs.
yeah. Okay, so let me just go through it real quick.
Yeah.
All right, so if you watch the video, and Ben Burnett, thank you for, he actually posted timestamps and everything in that video.
Yeah.
You can scroll down and see.
It's in the chat.
Yeah, it's in the comments, not the
Comment
chat,
section,
but the comments. So you could see all of the times where all of those things are dispelled. But I'll go over them quickly here, and then we can move on to more fun things. So basically, I did allow people to make changes on the presets. In fact, I asked them several times, do you want me to do this? And they were kind of like yes or no on it. So that was on them, not me. And we actually said that in the rules at the beginning. Carrie read all the rules at the beginning before we even started the shootout, and one of the rules was you can make changes, and we will make those for you. So if you wanted more like
overdrive, or
yeah,
not an
EQ
overdrive,
or any EQ changes, we were allowing that perfectly. We didn't have any problem with it because we understand that people are going to want things so that they can judge things better, you know. But a lot of people chose not to ask for them, and some people that were asked to do them chose not to do it. So what do you want me to do? You know, I mean, if they don't want them, they don't want them. So we were like, okay, but some people actually did. With TJ, he was asking if there was an overdrive on one of them.
Yeah.
I checked, and there was.
You tweaked some for Dave Seymour.
Yes, I tweaked some for Dave Seymour, and he actually changed his score a little bit after we tweaked it. And then I think on one of TJ's that he was trying out, he was wondering if there was a noise gate on there. So I checked to make sure the noise gate was on and off. So I did offer those things. So.
And honestly, though, if we would have tweaked them,
we'd be there all night. We'd still be there. We'd be like, all right, thanks for watching.
And I'd have pee coming out of my ears. I didn't leave to go pee one time in that 4-hour time period.
I went twice. Yeah.
We need a better setup next time.
Yeah, I know. You were trapped. She was trapped in there. So, that being said, I mean, people were allowed to make changes and they were allowed to do those things. Whether they chose to do that, that's perfectly fine, whether they wanted to or not, but a lot of them chose not to. Here's the other thing. It's not fair. You know, the A was louder than B. In the beginning, A was louder than B because one of the jacks popped out of the PA on the input, and I didn't, you know, I checked everything before we went live, and it must have just popped out. So if you look, you know, probably like 5 minutes into working with TJ, which is our first guitar player, I kept hearing it. You can see me peeking over and seeing what was wrong. I went and popped it back in, and after that, A, which in TJ's was the Helix, was louder. So for the rest of the episode, if you guys want to know, spoiler alert, the Helix was louder. So the Helix is the louder one. So it was louder.
For TJ, A was Helix, and B was Kemper.
Yeah.
And who? And Dave Seymour, same.
Gosh, I don't remember now.
It was TJ and Dave Seymour, and then the other three were.
What, the Kemper was A?
Yeah.
Well, you'll know because it's the one that's not as loud. So that's how you know. So again, spoiler alert. But but in the room, it's completely different. Yeah. I mean, they were pretty much the exact same volume because the XLR outs and the 1/4 inch outs on those units are different. There's going to be different volume levels on them. I volume matched them in the room for what we were dealing with a dB meter, and they were pretty much within like 1 or 2 dBs of each other depending on what you were doing. So it was fair in the room, and that's really where it counted because those are the guys that were voting on everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Phil Anatucci says, "Did you guys test any factory presets?"
No, factory presets are terrible. There's no need. Yeah, factory presets. Everybody, even the Line 6 guys, they're like, yeah, factory presets are terrible. And I don't mean that as a slight. They're just not that good. They're just there to show you what you can do with it on the screen, but they're not supposed to be sonically awesome. You know.
And Jeff Parker, I see your question. I'm just gonna let him get through this. What he wants to say about the.
Oh, okay. So the other thing is, so now here's the other thing. People are saying, well, my what do you call it? My bias oozed into the competition. Well, number one, I didn't vote on anything. The players did. The players are the ones that ranked everything. I didn't.
Well, you also used some of your own Helix presets.
Yeah, so let me say to this. Number one, when I announced that I was going to do this a couple of weeks ago, I reached out to the Helix community and I asked them, send me your best presets and I'll put them in the competition. If you can't do that, or on top of that, if you want to, you can recommend presets for me from some of the preset makers that are in the marketplace or anywhere else. Guess how many people reached out to me with stuff? One, just one. One guy sent me something, and we used it in there, and it was one without the IR. It sounded, no offense to you, but we had the IR messed up on it. But anyways, not one of the preset makers in marketplace sent me anything. And I had a couple subscribers reach out to them and ask them to, and they said they were too busy. Hey, you know, if you and one of them has made almost 40 videos on YouTube saying how to make a great tone in the Helix, and he didn't send one. You know, so I don't know what that says about the community. I don't know what that says about those people in particular. But, oh, Chicago Todd just got himself a shirt. Dude, thanks, man.
Got a t-shirt.
You got yourself a shirt and a pick.
Thanks for doing the fight night. I think you made it as fair as it possibly could be. Thank you.
Thank you so
Todd.
much. Thank you. And we're looking forward to doing many more for you guys. We really enjoy it a lot. And tell me what kind of pick you want. I'll throw that in there for you, too. Thank you, Chicago Todd, very much. So, again, getting back to what I was talking about, like, not one person, well, one person from the Helix community sent me something, but even though these guys that are on Marketplace that create tones and sell them in the Line 6 Marketplace were asked by other subscribers, like, hey, would you mind sending? They said they were too busy and they didn't send them. And again, these are guys that have over 12,000 subscribers on YouTube. They have many videos about the Helix and stuff like that. And it just doesn't speak well for them if they're not going to send them. You know, I'm sorry, but, you know, what does that say? Like, if I had, like, when I go up against the Axe FX3, well, not me, but when the Kemper goes up against the Axe FX3 in a couple weeks, I'm going to have my profiles in there that I've helped make. There's somebody who didn't like the results in the background there. But
can you guys hear the kids? Can you hear them playing and crying back there?
I can hear the gear page now.
Yeah. Do you mind if I adjust the lights?
No, go ahead.
We're seriously glowing like neon.
It's fine.
I'll go back. You do.
Okay. So anyways, it's just weird that they didn't send anything. It's really too bad, you know. So I bought a few. I bought a couple of Jason's Rev presets from the Helix and put them in there. I had to buy them. You know, I had to hold my nose and buy the dumb things because no one would send them. And he has access to everything he's ever made. All you had to do is just click it, put it in an email, and send it, and he didn't, which is really unfortunate because he's supposed to be the big guru of the Helix over there, again, who makes tons of videos about it, and he never sent them. So, I don't know. What does that say? That's up to you guys to decide, you know. And if Jason, if you're watching, you know, I don't know why you didn't send them. And there are other people that run the group that knew I asked for these, and they still didn't send them. You know, one of them sent them to me afterwards. I'm like, what's that? You know, and it was actually pretty good. But I told him, I said it probably still would have, you know, scored less than the Kemper, but I mean, at least you could have entered it, you know. So, you know, complaining about the results after the thing is over, but also not sending anything, it's kind of like I didn't vote, but I want to complain about who won. Like, well, you didn't vote. I mean, you kind of lost that right. So, you know, so I guess that's kind of how I look at it. You know, it's really too bad. But I will say this though. So as far as like my bias is concerned and this and that, I like both products equally. I just like them for different reasons. Like I use my Kemper for an all-in-one thing, and I absolutely love my Helix for a 4-cable method unit. It's one of the best products out there for that, and honestly, that's what it was made for. Like more than it was to replace your gear. It was made to work with your gear, you know. So I'll say that. So here's another way to dispel my bias. Why, if I'm so biased, why did my presets that I made for the Helix to go against the Kemper score higher than even the ones I bought from Jason? I mean, if I'm biased, they should have scored less, right? I should have been the guy sabotaging it, making crappy presets just so it would lose. No, they all scored higher. You know, so, and on top of that, the guys, we even had guys that owned Helixes that were in the competition that sent their own presets from their Helix that they loved. And they sent 2 each to compete with, you know, Kemper profiles that I didn't tweak. I just, oh, you used a rev amp? Okay, let me find a rev amp of the Kemper, found it, and just used it. And that's all I did. And there was no tweaks to it. And guess what? Even those guys preferred the Kemper over the Helix. I mean, I don't know how many more examples I can give you guys, you know.
It says, Renaissance Man at Scott Schultz, so is Tone Wars saying Kemper is better than Helix? I'm not saying it's better, saying that it's used for different reasons.
Well, what I'll say is, if I'm gonna go to a show and I had to carry one of those in the door with me and I couldn't use an amp that night, I would use the Kemper because I think the amp tones sound and feel better than the Helix. Okay, but if I was going to a show and I wanted to use, let's say, my Synergy rig, which is all tube preamps, and I needed something to add effects and control it, I would grab my Helix. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
So depending on, what you're using it for, it's kind of like, well, is a spade shovel better than a snow shovel? Well, it depends. If you're digging holes in your yard, use a spade shovel. If you're shoveling snow, use a snow shovel. It doesn't mean one's better. It just means one's better for those situations.
Let's see. Aaron says, I've had people ask me via Facebook and local friends. This challenge was totally above board. We were told to use our ears and our hands. Nothing else was a factor. There was no bias.
Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that. They literally were blind to what they were playing. They had no idea. And to the viewers, anybody that has like all the doubts and the conjecture, I get it. It's okay. Everybody wants to do the armchair quarterback thing.
And by the way, this is maybe the only time that we're going to spend this much time talking about the naysayers. So there's no need to. This is
from here on
our
out.
Channel. We're on the up and up. We're going to do it our way. We will ask for suggestions from time to time, but we're just going to stay in our lane and not get in their lane, and I'm going to swat at some bugs.
I mean, we're not going to spend like every time we do an episode, we're not going to spend all this time. I just want to do this once and for all kind of thing.
And if you have questions, again, just ask. We absolutely want to spend time answering your questions and your concerns.
Exactly.
If you're going to be bold enough to come in here and ask questions and converse and communicate with us, that's wonderful. But behind the scenes, it's behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, and the thing is I don't have any problem with anybody coming to me and saying, I don't like how you did that, or maybe I disagree with your thoughts on that.
That's what makes the world go round.
Yeah, I'm fine with it, because it gives me a chance to either explain something to you, and have you understand me better, or it gives me a chance to learn from you because maybe you're right, and my goal is to make friends, not enemies. I don't want to go after people and be like, oh, but you're stupid. And no, it's not that. I'd rather create a relationship with you than create an enemy out of somebody, because I'd rather have more subscribers that can, I don't know.
You're just trying to help, not trying to fight.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help, and I want to get more friends and subscribers out of it. I don't want to make enemies, know.
Did you hit all your points?
Let me make sure. Okay. So another point is, we had Helix people bring in their presets, which again they liked the Kemper better, even though it was a blind test, and the Kemper preset that they liked better was not tweaked to their liking by them. It was just something I selected by me and just put in there. Number one. Number two, we had a Kemper guy there. We had one guy that was a Kemper guy and another guy that had both. And guess how many presets they sent me? 0. We didn't use any of theirs. We just used regular profiles in the Kemper. So we didn't even use theirs. And even with the Helix, I actually put 2 IRs on a lot of the presets that I created, so that I could give it a fighting chance against the Kemper, which only had either 1 IR or 1 cab that it was mic'd with. So, I mean, I don't really know how much more I could have, put into it to make it fair. I spent 3 days in the basement dialing in everything and selecting things. So,
Steve says, you guys did a fantastic job last week. Will you do a Fractal X3 versus Kemper? By the way, save me a drink. Right.
Yeah, thank you, and we will. The Fractal versus Kemper is going to be November?
Couple months out,
Yeah, November. So the next one, the first Sunday of October, is going to be, well, we got a plan B, just in case, because I got the Line 6 2x12 power cab, which is about to be released. We're going to put that up against my favorite cab in the world, which is the Friedman ASC12, and see how those stack up.
Yep.
And I want to be part of that one too. I want to be blindfolded, and I want to figure that one out for myself. But just in case that doesn't come in time, what we're going to do is a nice little plan B. We're going to do interfaces against each other. We're going to do.
I think somebody was actually asking about that earlier.
Good.
I'm not going to find it.
Well,
but they're asking about interfaces.
Here goes. So I hope you're still here, because a lot of people talk about the screen on the Kemper, like, oh, it's so small and blah blah blah. Okay. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do like a game show kind of format. She's gonna be. So I'm gonna use the Kemper stage, and I'm gonna have another guy next to me with a Helix floor.
I want to smack that mosquito on your shirt so bad. There.
And she's gonna shout out like things for us to dial in, like an amp with this many or these types of effects.
Yeah.
You know, and then we got to have a race, and we got the A/B switch, and whoever hits the switch first and plays a chord wins. You know what I mean? And we're gonna see how fast we can dial in all this stuff on each unit. So I thought that would be kind of cool, and we might do that more often too, because I thought that would be kind of a fun, game showy kind of thing where there's a lot of tension. Who's gonna win? You know what I mean? I thought that would be kind of cool. So
and potty breaks though.
Yeah, and potty breaks. Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll just do it in the bathroom.
There you go. I was gonna go back up and find Jeff's question now. Hey Jared, question for you, if I may. So he just got a Kemper stage, putting it on a pedal board. Your pedal board video and your ear monitors on there. I might have missed a few words there. Can you explain what you do and what brand you use?
Oh, well, congratulations, first of all, and thanks for the question, Jeff. I use the Temple pedal boards, and I love them because they're very flexible. You can put anything anywhere on them, and they're just so easy to use, and they're actually fun to set up. I mean, it's a fun project,
It didn't sound fun when you were doing it.
When was
I
doing
the
it?
Words.
What words? What words?
The little zip ties underneath. And all
that was a different situation.
I'm telling on him.
No, the Temple boards are fun. No, they really are. The zip tie things was a completely other thing. So I had it set up that way, and I had my in-ear, I think the in-ear system on it at the time. But I've since moved the in-ear receiver unit to our rack mount PA system now, because I got tired of on this show I'm going to use my Kemper, so I got to put my in-ear receiver from my Helix board to that. So now it's always with the PA that we use for our in-ears. So now I got more space for pedals. So that's what I would use. I would highly suggest the Temple boards. I think that they're a riot to use. They're I think with the lights underneath, they illuminate very nice and they look cool, and they're lightweight, and they also have a flight case that you can buy, and I would highly suggest that too, because when we go out and play shows, I mean, that zipper kind of cloth or whatever, that soft shell case is okay, but with the flight case, you just throw it in the truck. I mean,
we don't throw anything.
No, but you know what I mean. It's not going to hurt anything. Yeah. So
if your clumsy stagehand trying to help you drops it down the steps.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing worse than you got the soft case, and then you go out in the car and you put it down, and then someone puts something heavy on top of it, and all your buttons are being smashed, and you're like, no, get a hard shell case. I mean, even if you just do local shows like we do, I mean, it's worth it. So worth it.
Humidity help with humidity as well, the hard shell cases?
I don't know. Probably not.
No.
I mean, you could put those little humidity things in there if you want, but I don't really think that's as big of a deal,
Renaissance Man, electronic gear has similar small screens to Kemper screen, but sound awesome, and one of the best hardware synths ever made. And Jeff said thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. If you have any other questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them for you here. Because that's really what this is. This is just us hanging out with you guys tonight.
It's right here, Dave.
Yeah.
He asked where the honey spice is.
Oh, yeah. She's got the honey spice tonight, and I got
Buffalo Trace.
I got Buffalo Trace tonight because I wasn't feeling super sweet tonight. I was feeling a little, I don't know. Salty. But, yeah, what was the question again?
No question. Oh, you want to know about the electronic gear?
Yeah.
Renaissance Man said, electronic gear has similar small screens to the Kemper, but sound awesome and one of the best hardware synths ever made.
Oh, the synthesizers, yeah. Well, the thing is at the end of the day, a lot of people want to talk about, oh, it's a small screen, it doesn't have all the colors and all the, the graphics and stuff that I like, but at the end of the day, when you're performing for an audience or playing, recording in a studio, no one's listening to that going, man, I bet you his screen is just gorgeous on that thing that he recorded with.
Do you think that they're going to upgrade in the near future?
I think they have to, but I don't, it's not,
It's not a deal breaker for you.
No, it's not a deal breaker for me at all because I don't stare at my screen when I'm playing my guitar. I stare at my guitar.
So I have a question, a non-guitar player question. When you're on stage, you have everything set, right? So
Yeah.
you don't need to bend down in the darkness and see what the screen is saying.
Listen to her. Listen to her.
Oh, I had something
Yeah.
right there. Right. So you set it up beforehand and it's done.
But see, a lot of guys they wanna tinker at home, you know. And if you're coming from the Helix world and into Kemper world, you're like, yeah, but I want to tinker and I want to tweak, and it's like, okay, you can tweak anything, okay, on the Kemper, but it's not a tweaker's delight, it's a player's delight. So when you select a profile on a Kemper, what you do is you maybe turn the highs and the mids in the places that you want them, play a few notes, and then you're like, all right, I'm there, just like you would a real amp. Add an overdrive pedal, just like you would a real amp. Add your effects, just like you would a real amp. And shut up and play. Like, stop turning. All you guys that are doing this and not a lot of this, I mean, you're going to get really good at this, and you're going to suck at this. This is what you are, right? Are you a guitar player, or are you a tweaker? Oh, I'm a tweaker. You know? You're not supposed to be a tweaker, man. Be a player.
Dave Rebel, Jared, dialing in and general use and setup. Which did you find more intuitive, easier to program and move around? Between the Helix and the Kemper, I'm assuming?
That's a good question.
Woo! Ben just got himself a bowling shirt.
Hey, Ben! And a couple picks.
That's right.
Thanks, Ben.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that very much, man. Thank you, sir.
And I said you're welcome because he said thanks for everything you do.
Oh.
So that's what that was for.
we just
You're
got
welcome.
a super chat from Penn. You're welcome. Boy, do we sound arrogant.
Sorry, presumptuous.
Thanks, Ben. Really appreciate that. Ben's been a great help to this channel. And again, thanks for all the bullet points from earlier.
Yeah.
He was like really passionate about. I can't believe people are saying this about your, you know. And he's like, and he took down all these bullet points and sent them to me. And I was like, gosh,
the man
this is
watched
great.
the show. What, 4 times?
I think 4 times.
That's like 16 hours of viewing, and then he took the time to like write down timestamps on certain
Cheers,
topics.
Ben. There's the camera lens.
It's
over
right there, not over there. But yeah, that's
Cheers.
really cool of you. Thank you for caring so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. What was it? Oh, Dave was asking about the.
Well, which one's more intuitive and.
Okay, if you need to tweak from scratch, the Helix is great because it does. You pick your amp, you pick your cab, you pick your. They got little blocks lined up, and then you can do all that, and that's great. It really is. But with the Kemper, you literally pull in a profile, and if the amp that you're pulling in is like profiled the way you like it, then you don't have to tweak. You know, and if you do, it's minimal, just like you would any other amp. You'll just turn up the highs and the mids a little and play. So they're both very intuitive, but with the Kemper, a lot of the stuff that you want anyways is already baked in, and you just add your effects and do a couple tweaks on the EQ knobs, and off you go. So it all depends, you know? I mean, what were you laughing about?
I was just laughing at Keith Bartini is like, damn, Ben. There's nothing wrong with Ben.
Yeah. We've never met. We've never met. And he's not like some cousin that's like, hey, man, when you guys go on, I'll help you. We've never met. Ben's an awesome guy, though. We really appreciate Ben. Ben lives way out of state here. I've never met him.
He says he actually watched it 5 times and made several other people watch it with me for various lengths of time.
You holding hostages?
Yes.
It's like, watch the show! He gets a pizza delivery guy over and he's like, sit down.
We appreciate you, Ben. What does he say? This type of gear shootout is very important. The truth must be told.
Yeah. Well, and that's really what it is. We're just advocates for you guys. I mean, we just want to help you guys make the best choices that you can for gear, and that's really what it's about for us. It's not about like we're trying to take sides and pick one over the other. We're letting other people do that. Like in the fight nights, I'm usually going to just be sitting there pushing buttons next to her, and I'm not going to be playing. And some of them I will, because some of this stuff, like the Kemper versus XFX, I want to be part of that because I've never tried it.
Talk him out of it.
No, I've never tried an XFX.
Not about you.
belt X effects. So I want to try that and see what it's like.
Let's see. Keith, did they come out with an editor? I'm hoping that you know what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's coming soon because the editor right now, like you can get the Toast Me app, which is I heard great.
Ooh, I like toasting.
Yeah. All right. Toast to the Toast Me app. Yeah, the guy created it for free, and you can get it right now. Just look up Toast Me app online, and you'll get it. And I hear it's awesome. I've never used it, but the new editor should be coming soon. I don't know when because the current editor is terrible.
Oh, somebody forgot to turn off their phone.
Somebody be calling me. So, yeah, the current editor's not that good. You know, it drives me nuts. But I do most of my stuff on the interface. I got a TV tray, you know, and I just sit there and let me just say this: when I plugged into my Kemper, 99% of the time I'm playing it. I'm not tweaking anything. I just play it because the stuff I got that's already dialed in there is I'm perfectly happy with. There's no reason for me to tweak it anymore.
Let's see. Roger says once you get used to the screen, it's no big deal.
Yeah, it's no big deal. Because if you're tweaking more than you're playing, you got problems.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, there's something wrong. You should not be doing that.
All right, let's see. Dave for Bell, do both work well with MIDI and 4CM?
Yes. Yes, they do. Yep.
Shortest answer ever.
Yeah.
Yes. Moving on. Jeff Parker, so another question I have yet to figure out on Kemper. My main guitar, a Monarch Majesty, as you know, is awesome.
Nice.
Runs an acoustic for some songs. Big volume difference in guitar. How to handle?
So what I do is I have the Majesty Monarchies too, and what I do is I bypass the cab and the amp, and I have a compressor, I have a delay, chorus, reverb. That's it, you know, and I just turn the gain up on the compressor a little bit, and that usually takes care of it. So if you want, send me my email's at the top in here.
Yep.
Send me your email or your email me, and I'll email you that preset, and then you can try it out for yourself. I'll email it to you.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, I'll do it tonight. If you email me tonight, I'll send it over tonight for you. Because that's the nice thing about the Kemper is I can just take my thumb drive, stick it in there, and put whatever I want on there, and pop it in my computer and send it out to you. So I'll send you my piezo dealio tonight.
Yeah, boy, I just cannot.
I know
the
we're
lights
getting
are not
washed
working.
out here.
The darker it gets, I
Here,
wonder
let me
just turn them off. I'll go over the t-shirts again.
Yeah.
So tonight for a $20 super chat, you get the Tone Wars t-shirt. That's the front. There's the back. You can just send Jared your email address and what size you need. Not your email address, your mailing address, because we can't send these to you in email. But yeah, you can send your size request and mailing address to Jared for a $20 super chat. Tone Wars t-shirts. And then for $40, we have these bowling shirts. Button down with the collar, the logo on the back. These ones we only have in XL. We have 3 of them. 1 is a charcoal gray and 2 are black. So for $40 super chat, we can do these as well. And then when we get rid of them, we will come out with more sizes. We don't have any 2XLs. We only have small, medium, large, and we have a bunch of extra large in the t-shirts. So hopefully that will be good. And when we can get some more, Jared wants to do some fight night t-shirts specifically that are going to be super cool. Some upcoming shows we're working on. Jared is actually working on the Harley Benton review. He's been talking about that and planning on doing that. It didn't help turning the lights completely off. We're still
kind of washed out.
I wonder what the deal is. Do you think it's the fire?
I don't think so. I just think it's just whatever. I think it's the camera.
The camera?
Because we're using an iPad tonight. We're not using our fancy stuff. So it's kind of a stripped down night.
It's a little bit better.
Yeah. It's fine.
But the darker it gets.
You look better than I do. So, well, she always does.
Well, thanks.
She should.
Somebody just said something funny. Where is it? Where'd it go? I saw it pop up. If Tone Wars ever goes off the air, Carrie would be great on QVC. That's why I'm here, folks.
Hey, right now. No, we're just trying to fund the show because there's a lot of stuff that, that we got to pay for. Like literally, like there's tons of stuff.
Everyone looks better in the dark, right?
You're right. But there's a lot of stuff that we pay for. Like all the stuff that's been on the show so far, I've bought. I think all of it, right? Has anybody sent me anything yet?
I think this cab is the first thing.
Yeah, the cab, and thank God Line 6 is sending that, because oh my God, I can't keep buying stuff. And I literally buy this, and I buy it, and I'm like, well, this would be great for the show. And then I'm like, because like the Harley Benton cab, I bought
I'm
it.
wondering if anybody from Motor City is watching Motor City Guitar. Are you guys watching?
Yeah, if you guys want to donate stuff, I'll bring it back, because they did. They actually did with Misha's amp, the Mini. They actually called me and said, "You want to review it?" I said, "Hell yeah!" So I went and picked it up, and thank you for doing that.
We'd
Motor
love
City,
to partner with you guys for sure.
Yeah,
some advertising.
Yeah, Marty, I'll be talking to you soon. Motor City is a great store. If you ever, Dave Rebell was in Michigan. He goes there every time. It's a killer store to shop at. They got 10 of everything, so it's a lot of fun going in there.
They're talking to each other.
Ah, okay.
Nothing specific.
Why don't we talk to each other? So, how's your week been?
Right. It's been the first week of school. It's a little hectic.
Yeah.
Getting up at 5 in the morning every morning. A little hectic.
Yeah.
So I already told them about the Harley Benton review that you're doing, and then I think you mentioned that the next fight night we were going to try for the Line 6 Power Cab 2x12 versus the Friedman ASC 12. But if the Line 6 Power Cab doesn't come in, then the backup was the game show, the interface shootout between the Helix floor and the Kemper stage.
Exactly. So I think that'll be fun. Anyways, we will do that shootout between the interfaces.
Yeah.
Very soon. Even if it's not next month, we'll do it maybe in December or something like that. Because I thought that would be a hilarious, but very like nail-biting, tension kind of really cool show to do.
And you get to participate as a winner.
Yeah, and you get to be host and just help tell everyone what to do. So
that's what I'm good
home.
at. Right?
Yeah, I think somebody asked where we were getting the
How are we getting the X3? Yeah.
Yes, that is coming from Warm Chord Music, who makes a lot of really good profiles, and that's Jay Croft. Jay Croft is going to be providing it because that's his. So what we're going to do is I'm going to find all my favorite profiles in the Kemper and put them all up against the same amp model in his X Effects, and we're just going to shoot them out. And I'll be in that, and it's going to be me and him and one other guy. We're going to blind test them both. And
I thought you were going to say we're going to blind everybody.
Yeah, we're going to blind everybody.
Look, it looks like your deck's on fire behind us now.
I know.
Woo!
That'd be fine with me. I could get one of those Trex decks, so fine. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. So we'll do that.
Next week is Anastasi night, right?
Yes, next week is Anastasi night. I gotta start practicing for that.
That's right. We gotta get our bass player.
Yeah, because
on the same page too.
I spent all last week, well, you did too, shooting all the promo stuff and everything for fight night, and then all I was doing is chug chord select chug chord.
You mean the last month? You said last week, but it's been a month in preparation.
So I haven't really been practicing because that's all I've been doing is preparing for the next, for that fight night. So you told them about the fight night shirts?
Yes. I mentioned once we get rid of these, we'll be.
Yeah, we'll be doing fight night shirts and stuff, and we're not trying to be all merchy and like, oh, send us. Honestly, we're not. We're trying to fund the show. We're trying to fund all this stuff.
And they're cool.
Yeah, and they're cool. But we're trying to fund this so that we can continue to do it, because the last fight night costed a lot of money from all of the stuff that we had to do to make it happen. I'm happy doing it, but I'd still like to at least break even on them, you know what I mean? And kind of make some of that back so that we can put that into the next one. And we're really trying to like create a great like show for you guys. So once, at least like first Sunday of the month, like it's popcorn, beer, and hot dog and pizza night. You know, you could, not hot dogs, but you know what I mean. Beer and pizza night.
Okay.
You know.
You got the Applegate and Chevrolet song going through your head. Baseball, hot dogs. Applegate and Chevrolet.
Well, if we get to wine and sushi night, then we've gone too far.
No,
that's too far.
Ah, it's what you just ate before we move on.
I know
Don't
it is.
even play with them.
I had sushi.
Don't even play.
It was good too. But I didn't have wine with it. I had beer.
No, you had grapefruit beer.
Yeah, it
your
was good. Man, we're gonna talk afterwards.
Yes, yes, it's going to happen. Beers and sushi, Dave says.
Nothing better. Next time Dave comes up here, we're gonna have that. So.
Aaron wants to know if we can get Tone Wars lunchboxes. And bobbleheads. Wouldn't he be amazing in a bobblehead? Let's do that again.
Bobblehead.
Your hair. That's so funny.
Bobble hair.
That's right. Oh man. Yeah, Dave is saying Taipan. That's right.
Yep, Taipan's oh man, that's the place.
Mm-hmm.
They make the best sushi. Great big pieces. They're like this. Or most places are like this. Theirs are like this, and it's literally half the price as everybody else.
Yeah.
It literally is.
They said they're looking for, I don't know why we're talking about this so much, but they're so busy, they're looking for another cook.
Yeah, they can't keep up with the orders. And they just opened like 7 months ago.
I'm pretty sure you've ordered from them every day for like the last 3 weeks.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than groceries. Seriously, I could get 2 huge rolls for like hardly anything, and it's so good.
$10 a day for 3 weeks. 21 days, $10, $210.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Alright, they really like the set tonight. A lot of people are saying the fire looks, well, Aaron said the fire looks dangerous, and I agree, but they're saying the set looks inviting.
Ah, well, that's
Maybe
what we
should
wanted.
come outside more often.
Yeah.
And pick on each other about sushi and grapefruit beer.
Well, I'm serious. Like, I wanted to do this tonight so bad because I'm serious. As much as I loved doing last week's episode, and I'm sure you did too, I mean, it sucked the life out of us, man. We put everything we had into it, and I was dead.
Aaron Lucas says, all kidding aside, if there was a Tone Wars onesie, he would totally get one for his 2-year-old. Yes.
We'll look into that.
And Jeff says, okay, he was trying to be good, but he needs a beer now. There you go.
No, have a beer, man. That's what this is about.
Steve says, has the Kemper stage been reliable? Getting back to business.
Yes, it has. It's been very reliable. Now, I'm in the Kemper Facebook group, the official one, and I think some of the other guys in here are too. And there's been some issues. There's been some software glitches and like some of the switches and stuff, and most of it's software update issues. I haven't updated mine. Because all of the software is in beta. Okay, so I would suggest don't update yours until the actual, like, I don't know what they call it, alpha software comes out, like the legit software. So don't use beta software because you'll have glitches and bugs. So, I haven't updated mine, and it's been working absolutely perfectly. I have 0 problems with it. So.
Ben said he'd wear the Tone Wars onesie. That's where I thought Aaron was going.
I dare you.
Let's see, Celtic Gibson. Good job on the shootout, guys. Carrie was like the captain of the ship, keeping everything and everyone running smoothly.
She was.
That's what I do.
Yep, that's what she does. So, yeah, thank you for her, yeah.
Thanks for the shout out.
And you did do a really good job.
I heard that a big software update is coming soon, as well as many other little fixes and features from Aaron Short Music.
Yes. Yep. And I'm waiting until then to update mine, because otherwise I don't want to do it.
Roger says, I've been on the fence between the Helix and Kemper, but the fight night helped me decide on the Kemper, and I don't want to carry a separate amp, so I won't use the 4-cable method anyway. Yeah,
well, there you go. And that's honestly, Roger, that's what I would suggest. If anybody ever came to me and said, well, which one should I get? I would ask you, are you going 4-cable or are you going all-in-one? And it sounds like you're going all-in-one, so I would say, yes, get the Kemper, because the feel and the sound is 100% there. It really is, And I debated on whether or not I should say this, but I'm going to say it anyways.
Oh, boy.
Well, here's the thing. We ran them together, in that shootout, and it was
super serious. He got closer.
I got closer.
Say it.
So we ran them against each other, and what I did was I said, to be 100% fair, let's score each one 1 through 10. So at least at the end, it wasn't, which one do you like better, this one or that one? This one or that one? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because if we did just do that without the scores, and we just said, which one do you like better? Let's say we did 75 presets. I think we did.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I think we did about that many. It would have been 74-1 Kemper. Think about that for a second. Now, but to be fair, I wanted to do a scorer so that it wasn't just the Kemper 74 Helix 1 or vice versa. So at least the viewers can go, oh, well, this one scored an 8, this one scored a 4 or a 6 or whatever. And then you can see how close or how far away they were from each other. That way it gave you some, a little bit of, what do you call that word when you're trying to see from someone else's perspective?
Perspective.
Gave you a little bit of, I keep pointing at this camera, some perspective. So, so if everyone was choosing one or the other, 99% of them picked the Kemper. They just did, and it was a blind test.
Yeah.
So again, to be fair, I kept the scores in there so that we could see how close they really were. So that's actually a good point to know. But for 4 cable method, use a Helix.
Thanks for throwing that in. We're up to date on the comments. Anything else you guys want to ask or know or?
Yeah, please do, because
make fun of.
That's what we're here for. You make fun of us.
That's right.
And anybody.
Don't make me show you the T-shirts again.
Yeah, yeah, she'll do it. She'll march those things right out here.
I sure will. Let's see.
But so anybody from the Helix community, if you have anything like that you maybe aren't comfortable with or disagree with or whatever, I mean, here's the place to put it, and I'll address your questions right here professionally, and I have no problem with it, because again, we want these to be fair, and we want them to be honest, and we want them to be fun and educational, and if there's a way that we can improve this stuff, feel free to share that with us, and if you have a good point, we'll definitely put that in there.
Ben says the bobblehead's an awesome idea.
Bobble hair.
Celtic Gibson, agree on the feel of the Kemper. It's there and it's real. I have the Helix native plug-in as well. It sounds good, but it doesn't feel as good. That's the big thing that surprised me about the Kemper.
Yeah, I mean, because happy hands, happy ears. I mean, that's the best combination you can have, because we talked about that last week. Like, even if something sounds really good, but it feels horrible, that's why a lot of people, when they buy, the presets online, they watch the YouTube video and this is my preset, buy my preset. They're like, wow, that sounds great. And they download it and they're like, this doesn't sound anything like it did in the video, but maybe it does, but it doesn't feel good to you. Mm-hmm. And because it doesn't feel good to you, it doesn't sound good to you now, because you're like, I can't play this. This sounds like shit. And I swore, I wasn't supposed to swear. This sounds like poop. So, but the thing is, though, is it's your hands. So that's why we do the blind shootouts, because now your eyes aren't involved. It's just your ears and your hands, and they make the decisions. So that's just the way it is.
Steve, Kemper versus FM3.
FM3. Mm-hmm. What's FM3?
It's what it said, FM3.
FM3. What's FM3? Sorry, I had too much whiskey. I don't know what FM3 is.
Aaron says, Fractal. FM3.
Oh, yeah. The XFX3 is coming. It will be in November. First Sunday of November, Kemper versus XFX3. It's going down.
Mark it.
Yep.
Here we go. Let's see. Aaron, was there anything you would have done different for the last fight night if you had a do-over? Yes. We would have set up the table better so Carrie could get out and go pee.
Yeah. Other than that...
And a fan.
Yeah, and a fan. Other than that, no. We wouldn't have... I had the air great! When I went upstairs, it was like 64 degrees in my living room. I'm like, holy crap.
I just must have been in this, zone where there was no airflow.
Yeah, you were stuck in a corner.
From your butt.
Nice.
Let's see. Kemper versus Fractal. Now that should be one heck of a shootout.
That's going to be like the fight of all fights right there, because those are considered the best.
Now, is the Axe effects, is that where you have to have your laptop hooked up to it, or?
No, that was the Axe 8, which that one guy used, our friend Jamie, he used it, and it just, that thing, I didn't like the structure of that at all. But the Axe FX 3, you can use it with a with a computer, or it's got its own interface, which they kind of stole some of the ideas from Helix on that, which I commend Helix and them for it, because Helix does have a great interface on it. And it's very easy to use from what I hear. I've never used one, never touched one, never played through one ever. So,
Roger asked if the Kemper is comparable in price with the Fractal 3.
It's like half the price.
The
the XFX 3. Let me look it up right now while you bobblehead or whatever you're gonna do.
Right. Let's see. Ben says he agrees. He's pumped for the Fractal versus Kemper. Yeah, I think that'll be a good one, especially since I haven't seen the XFX one before. Let's see. At Tone Wars, Fractal FM3 replacement for FX8. Yeah, FM3 is the new Fractal.
Yeah, so like, let me see how much it is.
Let's see. Steve says the new FM3 is $999.99. Small pedal, 3 switches.
Oh, that's that little guy. Yeah, $999.
But then Ben says it's about $1,800 and the Kemper $1,700.
Yeah, so like the XFX 3, I'm looking it up right now, $22.49, but it's on sale right now for $22.49. And then you got to get the foot controller for it, which is the FC6 for $499. So you're looking at, like, I don't know, $2,700.
We're mathing.
Yeah, we're mathing right now. So about $2,700 for that. But here's the thing, though. It better be like, okay, so you got the Kemper.
Ben is wrong. I am wrong.
So, all right. So here's the thing, though. This is the way I look at it. The Kemper stage is $1,700. So the Fractal is going to be $1,000 more minimally. So you're looking at $1,000 more. It better be $1,000 better, and I just don't see how that's going to happen.
Yeah.
How can it be $1,000 better? Now we'll find out, when we do the shootout in November.
Renaissance Man says Fractal rips you off on the foot controller and extra warranty, way more expensive than either the Helix or the Kemper.
That's just a lot of money to spend on something like that. It really is. I mean, I'm not dogging it. It's just that thing better blow my head off. I mean, it better just blow my freaking mind for it to be that good. Spend that kind of money. What?
Just trying to picture it.
You probably thought about it a lot, haven't you?
Let's see. I would get this is from Renaissance Man. I would get the Kemper stage over the Helix or the Fractal if I had to choose only one device, but ideal to have both Kemper and the FM3 or HX Stomp.
Yeah, the HX Stomp's a pretty cool little gizmo. It really is. It's got a lot of great features. I think that new FM3 is supposed to compete with it. Everybody's going smaller now.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to create that little small guy that does a lot of stuff, and for like fly gigs and stuff like that. I think that would be really cool. I really do. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. I really am, because I have never played through an XFX product yet. So I'm really looking forward to see how mind blowing it really is.
My friend Elisa texted me and she says, "I'm watching you. Is there a way to say hi?" I think you have to sign in. If you sign in, you can add to the live chat. But if you're still watching, hey. I'll see you Friday night, girl.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. And let's see. Dave Salvador. Oh, they're at a concert in Detroit. Nuts. Some hillbilly band that plays classic rock. Okay. Well, enjoy that, Dave, when you watch the replay. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, what else do we have here? Renaissance Man, yeah, I play the synth. He plays synths and guitar, so a fly rig with my Kemper FM3 and Electron can play entire gig for drums, bass, guitar, and synth pads.
Wow, that's amazing. It really is, and that's another reason why we do these shootouts, because we want people like him and everybody else watching to be able to pick the best thing for them to do that kind of stuff with and not sacrifice anything, because that's really what it is. I mean, if you got to go on a fly gig, or you want to at least just consolidate your gear and have something small and compact, you don't want to sacrifice your tone and your features. So we're trying to point out how you can do that by doing these shootouts, you know,
Should I
and
turn
it really
the lights
helps.
on? Or are we going dark?
Yeah, let's
Can
turn
we
them on.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead. It's getting dark out here now, so we'll just turn them on. They'll be on for a little bit more. Ooh. Turn it all the way down. There you up. Right there.
This one too?
That's probably fine. I think
Okay.
what you got going on is fine.
All right.
Yeah. You don't want to overdo it. Yeah. So
There we go.
yeah.
Let's see. What else do we have? The main selling point of the Fractal is the crazy routing options and the superior effects catalog. The Kemper is all about tone, simple and straightforward. No fancy routing or effects.
Yeah, I mean it's just a more straightforward. Like if you just want to play, you know, but it does have a lot of effects, and it does have. I think that the amp tones are so good in it that the effects and some of the other features on it get overlooked. They really do. But if you really dig into those effects on the Kemper, it's amazing. And if you dig into even the routing, because I actually programmed my Kemper to control my Synergy rig with via MIDI and add effects, and it does it very well. And it was super easy. So yeah, it does
Derek
do that.
wants to know if you would sell your tube amps and just use the Kemper. If he went bankrupt.
Yeah. I mean, I have, if I had to choose, like if I only could use one or the other, God, that's a tough one, man. There's absolute magic in my Synergy rig. I love that rig so much because I love the modules and the features and the variety that it gives me that I've just found is just super cool. So if I had to choose between them both, like, because I couldn't have one or the other.
Right.
I guess the Kemper would give me the effects and all of the great amp tones, where the Synergy stuff only gives me amp tones but no effects. So I guess I would go Kemper because if I can't have them both, I want my effects and I want that stuff. But man, I would be so brokenhearted. I'd be inconsolable. Honestly, I want them both because again, I absolutely love the Synergy stuff. It's probably the best amp type stuff I've ever owned in my life.
Renaissance Man says at Tone Wars, which would you get, Kemper Profiler head and remote or the Kemper Stage Profiler that costs less, and why?
Good question. Who asked that?
Renaissance Man.
Oh, Renaissance Man. Good question. I have the Kemper toaster and remote, and I also have, as you know, the stage. And I would get the stage because it's one thing to put on the floor as opposed to you got the toaster and the remote, and you got that cable that goes in between them for live playing and stuff like that, and it works great, but it's just easier to use the Kemper stage because it's basically what they did is they took the toaster and the remote and they put it into one unit. So it's way less space to take up, it's less money to spend, and it sounds just as good and it has the same amount of features. So you're not giving up anything, you're gaining by going that route.
He also said, or get a lunchbox tube amp like a Mesa Mark 5 25 or Angle Iron Ball that weighs only a few pounds and a 1x12 cab.
I mean, you could do that too, but then you'll still need effects. So if you're going to go that route, then maybe get like an HX Stomp or an HX Effects or something like that, and pair that with it and do all the switching and MIDI switching and effects with that. You could do that too, But if you're going to get a Kemper and pair it with an amp, you're just better off using the Kemper as your amp because it literally is that legit. It really is. So that's what I would do.
He's talking to Renaissance Man. So Celtic Gibson, he would totally use something like the FM3 HX Stomp to augment the Kemper raw profile tone. A great combination. It's true that Fractal Line 6 are good at effects.
Yeah, they're all good at effects now. I think Fractal's like the king of effects. What everybody keeps saying. I've never played through one, so I don't know. I know that Petrucci talks everybody into them. He's if you ask Petrucci, like, what should I get with my rig? He'll say, get Axe Effects, because that's what he uses, and he's like a tone legend. So, how do you argue with the Truch?
How do you argue?
How do you argue with the Truch? You can't. So, he's the master.
We're caught up on the comments.
Oh, good.
Here, let me show our lovely T-shirts again.
Yeah.
There's the T-shirt.
There you go, Vanna White.
You know you want one. $20 super chat gets you one of our Tone Wars T-shirts. You can wear it around town and promote the channel. If you want one, send your preferred size. We have small through XL.
I'll send them to you.
And then
with a pick, a good pick.
We have these bowling shirts, button down with the collar, and our logo on the back. This would be for a $40 super chat.
Yep.
Done.
Last one.
Last one for the night.
Last Vanna White moment for the night.
It is. It's 8:11.
8:11. We're a little after 8. I can't bowl with a worth a darn, but I look good doing
it. That's right.
Carrie's hotter than Vanna White.
Well, thanks. I'd like to have her bank account, though.
Yeah, the hell. Throw her some money, Vanna.
Maybe I could be the next Vanna White.
All you gotta do is turn numbers, right? Or turn letters.
Right here? How's this? How am I doing?
Right here, we have a moron.
Nice. Bowling shirt. Let's see. Celtic Gibson. Good choice. I love both Kemper and HS. I've spent a lot of time testing them out recently, but have not tried the Kemper Profiler stage yet. Where are you, Renaissance Man?
Yeah, try it. Yeah, if you're near me. I mean, there was another subscriber that messaged me today.
The skeeters are out now.
Yeah, he messaged me today, and he lives like within an hour. And I said, you can come by anytime and check it out. You know, I'm good with that.
Well, thanks for subscribing, Renaissance Man. He just said, good stuff. Your passion and honest approach is refreshing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, and that's really what we try to do here. I mean, I'd like to think of this channel as an advocate for you. Not for gear, but for the people who use it. Right. You know, we want you to make the best decisions that you can when you're purchasing gear, and we take what we do very seriously. We want you to have the most educated decisions that you can make out there, and the best background on all of them, and literally, like, I mean, we love gear, and we love all the gear manufacturers out there, and we think that it's a hard job. It's hard to make great things for people, and we get that, but we want to make sure that we are advocates for the consumer, you know, more than anybody else, you know, because there is a lot of great gear out there, but there's times where I think there's a lot of fluff in the ads, and there's a lot of, you know, people saying that this is great and that's great, and they're paid to say that, you know, and I mean, whatever, everybody needs a paycheck, right. But you know.
Okay, move your biceps so they can see the fire.
Oh, sorry.
Push your bicep out of the way.
I'll put it up here.
But we just lost like 5 people.
No, but that's really what we're here for. We're here for you guys. We want you to help you guys make the best decisions that you can when you buy gear. And I love hearing the stories when people.
Yeah. It's honest. I didn't imagine the great comments that we would get when we did this. I thought we would be dealing with all kinds of negativity and naysayers and complainers, and there's been more people that have sent messages thanking him for sharing his knowledge and for our personalities, our lovely personalities.
In the biceps, yeah.
Right. But gal, you guys have been just encouraging to us.
You've been great. We really appreciate it. We get it every week. You know, people saying, "Hey, I just bought that thing that you suggested, and thank you so much." You're right. Yeah. It's everything that you said it would be, and I love that because no one paid me to say that. You know, it's not like I got this free thing in the mail with a check saying, well, just say good stuff about us. Here's a script, you know, because honestly, that happens more than you think it does. I don't do that. I just give you my honest opinion, and everything that I've reviewed so far, I've bought. So I'm reviewing things that, you know, it's one thing to say, yeah, this is great, but to be that person that never plays it, I actually play it. I'll tell you, it's great.
I don't play it, but I listen to him play it.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, anything I suggest for you, I actually have played, do play, and own. You know, that's pretty much how it works.
Let's see, Renaissance Man, right on Tone Wars. Same here. I buy my own gear and have no endorsements, so my honest opinion as well.
Yeah. That's the way. That's the way it should
as
be.
you're out in your communities, and you guys are all over the world, all over the United States, tell people about Tone Wars. Tell people about the channel, not the schedule.
Yeah.
You can tell them about our schedule too, but
Yeah.
the channel. Share our feeds in your groups and on all of your social media, and
Yeah, please do.
that would be a big help, and just giving us a push to go forward.
Yeah, that really helps us big time. I mean, really, sharing is definitely one of the best things that
Sharing
you can do.
is caring.
Yeah, it really is one of the best things you can do for us, though, because when you share it in a group, like somebody shared it in the gear page, which I'm not a member of, and thank you whoever did that. I apologize, I forgot who that was. We did all the thank yous in the beginning, but whoever did that got everybody talking about us. There's like 8 or 9 pages, like tons and tons of comments about it. And thank you, we really appreciate that.
Dave Rebell says, you guys have been great. From humor to product. Keep up the program and the product info and comparisons.
We'll do our best.
Ooh, let's see. Steve, Canada here, Newfoundland, sitting in Hurricane Dorian all day. Oh, I'm sorry. Dude.
Wow.
I've been seeing some horrible videos.
Yeah, man, we've been seeing like people's like 2 stories in their house like underwater. It's like, how's things where you're at? I mean, are you getting like the weaker version of the storm, or is it still pretty gnarly, or what? I mean, because the videos we've been seeing on Facebook are scary.
And then Celtic Gibson says, it's your fault, Jared, that he's dreaming about the Friedman FRFR monitor and his wallet isn't happy.
Dude, but your ears are going to be so happy. Dude, that thing. Oh, thank you, and I'm sorry. And you're welcome.
Said that so many times.
I know. She says that a lot.
Hold on. Derek Merrill, if you were looking to take a bare minimal gear to gig because of limited space, what would you take?
I would take the Kemper stage. Yeah, I would just plop that down and be done. Yep, absolutely.
Ben says, I'm going to slaughter this name, Deuterium. Deuterium is the guy who did both threads on Gear Page.
Oh, thank you, Deuterium. Thank you so much. Seriously, that guy, he not only shared it, but he actually was in there kind of like dispelling a lot of the, the butthurt guys stuff in there, so I appreciate it.
Steve says, Category 1, just win. He lost a fence and a patio. No money for Kemper now.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, man.
Our definite prayers are with you and your family and everyone that's in the pad.
That's rough. That really is, man. When you watch that stuff on TV and you're like, I watched one yesterday and on Facebook, and it showed this water. Yeah. And then somebody said, this is the 2nd floor of my house. And I'm like, oh my, and they were in the attic. They were like shooting the video from their attic. Why are they still
there, though?
I don't know. Maybe some people just couldn't get out. Some people, you know how it is though. Some people are like, "Oh, it's not going to be that bad."
On their roof, waiting for the helicopter to come.
Yeah, it's horrible. People leaving their dogs behind and stuff, and oh my god.
I know, he has a big heart for the pets.
Yeah, I can't. Oh man. Yeah. Well, I hope you guys stay safe. Seriously, that's scary.
Renaissance Man asked, how good is the Line 6 power cab for Kemper? What would you recommend for a lightweight powered cab for the Kemper that sounds great?
I haven't heard the power cab yet, but from my experience so far, what I would recommend is the ASC 10. So, to the other gentleman, was it Renaissance Man? Mm-hmm. That was asking about, somebody saying that it was my fault or whatever, because he's buying the ASC 12. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot.
Oh, it's Celtic Gibson.
So Celtic Gibson and Renaissance Man, both you guys. I would recommend then, if because I think Celtic Gibson also said it's so heavy, get the ASC 10 because it's only 33 pounds, and it's literally like this big. It looks like that thing's gonna be a turd. It literally does. It looks like when you pick it up, you're like, there's no way this is gonna sound good. It's gonna sound like crap.
A turd.
But oh my God, it sounds good. And Dave Rebell, if you're still here, can attest to that because he liked it so much he bought 2 of them. And I have one as well. And I'm not kidding you. It sounds just as good as the ASC 12. The ASC 12 will sound, tonally, they're saying the ASC 12 might sound a little bigger. But when you play through the ASC 10, you're not going to think that you're playing through a little thing. It's still 500 watts. And that thing will push a lot of air and vibrate the floor just very well. So get that.
Keith says, how about a few hints about the Harley cab?
All right. You know what?
You got some things you want to share?
Yeah, I got some things I want to share. Yeah, so I'm getting serious again.
Oh, okay.
I'm scooting up.
All right.
All right,
I'm paying attention.
Paying attention.
I got my thinking.
Yeah,
wrinkle.
your thinking wrinkle. Your thinkle. Get your thinkle up there.
Come on, they're gonna leave. Start talking.
So the Harley Benton. Shh. I think honestly, I think it sounds amazing, and I was going to shoot the video of it, and I messed up my Sin 5050.
Oh,
yeah.
Here's the story.
Yeah, the jacks on the back of my Sin 5050, they look like nuts, and I was going to put colored nuts on there so I can keep track of what goes where.
Hazelnuts or almonds?
Almonds. So they're almonds. So I couldn't twist it off with my fingers, so I got a wrench, and I just nudged it, just like you would any other time, and it popped. And I found out after calling Synergy that those are not supposed to be twist-offs, they're pop-offs. So I snapped the jack inside, so I got to send it to California tomorrow and have them fix it and send it back before I shoot the video. But I will say this, for all of you that are like waiting on, to see if it's really good, go buy one.
Ben says
I'll just say that. Go buy one.
This took a weird turn. Maybe do a 3.2 beer next shot.
What?
3.2.
What's a 3.2?
The alcohol content, maybe?
Oh.
Or maybe only drink 3.2?
No, but if you're...
Oh, stop it.
But if you're waiting and if you're wondering if you should get a Harley Benton, if you're wondering if it's as good, I honestly can't tell the difference. They sound amazing. Between that and the Mesa 2x12, I can't tell the difference. Not at all.
Ben says a Kemper and 2 Friedman ASC10s would rule. Stereo tone that is as good as a tube amp and would have 1,000 watts of stereo power.
1,000 watts.
That sounded better.
Yeah.
Aaron Short, dying to try the ASC10. Maybe even order one tomorrow.
Dude.
Too bad you don't have a coupon code.
I know. Dude, Dave Friedman, if you ever watch this, I put your kids through college.
Pretty much, right.
So many people have bought the Friedman stuff. I get messages every week, So, Dave, you need to put me through college. Maybe I don't want to go to college. I'm too old.
I don't want to go back to school either. Well, we're caught up.
We be caught up. All right. Well, you know what, guys? We are. Let's see. Coupons don't work with Friedman.
Ooh, we got a big one. Let's see. I will get the Friedman AC10 instead of the Line 6 power cab. Dave can donate a BE52 amp and cab to me as well.
Yeah, it's got tons of punch, tons of resonance, thump, and I just love how it sounds. It just really represents the sound very well. So you can trust it. Like if you play through it and you want to take that, if you dial in a tone on that, you want to take that tone to the studio, you're not going to go to the studio and have the engineer go, oh my God, your tone sucks, it's way off. It's going to sound exactly how it does in that cab. It really is. It's extremely transparent.
Aaron Short says he's seen some bad reviews of the Friedman.
Really? Where is he? We'll talk to him. Eh? Me and Uncle Paulie come out there and have a little chat. I got the shovels in the trunk.
You had to throw that in there because I nixed it on fight night. Pull out the Rocky.
Oh,
you made that package.
Yeah. Oh God. Maybe I should.
Like, no.
I should release those. Those are funny.
We need a blooper reel. Maybe
we'll
once
do a
a year
reel.
we should do a blooper reel.
For sure.
We're both reading. We're both like.
Yeah. Can you use the ASC10 with a real tube amp as well? I use it with the real tube preamps for my Synergy stuff. As long as you have an IR, yes, you can do that. But not like a full-blown amp. You can't because the ASC10 is powered. So if you're going to use like a real tube amp, you want to use it like a passive cab. And if you're looking to save money, get the Harley Benton 2x12. It's absolutely insane. It's so good. I'm really kind of bummed out that I spent $850 a piece on my 2 Mesa 2x12s. because I can't tell the difference.
Patience is a virtue.
Yeah, it sure is. And yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's like a 2-minute warning. We'll
Yeah, we'll wrap
if you've
up.
got
with
any
you.
last quick comments or questions, do it up. I can show you the shirts again, but I won't.
Or you can ask questions. I suggest you ask questions.
Right. So hopefully next week, we're going to have Anastasi night, as long as our bass player is a go for it.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Jared thinks he's practiced up. Ben, I've eaten an entire bucket of chicken. That sounds yummy. KFC. Right.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank you guys all again for tuning in and staying with us. Thanks for all that you do. Thanks for the super chats. There's the fire.
The fur.
Don't forget to share this and with your friends and on your what are they called? Share it on their in their groups and
on your Facebook page, all that stuff. Because I mean, literally, that's what we need. We need more subscribers, and you know, we want to turn fight nights into something that's just like what people like look forward to every month. Because we do. We think it's a blast, you know, and we want to make it a big deal for you guys. And literally, like it's like UFC night for gear. You know, that's really what our goal is. So, so keep you know, keep in touch with us so that you can see the upcoming events and all that. So, love your videos. Keep up the honest reviews. Thank you, Derek. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Seriously.
How do you stop going live on this?
I don't know.
I don't see a button that says stop streaming.
Yeah, I haven't.
Maybe it's down here.
Maybe it's the X.
Is it the X?
Nope.
Mute microphone.
No,
Don't want to do that.
I think it's the X. Well, hey, thanks, guys. We're going to try to turn this off.
No, that's not it. There you go.
What up, West Side? Thank you guys very much. We really appreciate it immensely. Seriously, we will see you guys next Sunday, and I'll try to get something out this week for you guys to watch too.
And there's 2 of you getting shirts. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys very much. We really appreciate it. Until next time.
We're going to try to find this button.
I think it's right here. Do you want to stop streaming?
Yes.
All right. Have a good